To meet the guys behind Treevolution, they are pioneers, Greenpop. They've taken over a neglected piece of land in Woodstock some 2 years ago and have transformed it into a thriving vegetable garden. You might have seen it down here in the Cape. Their mission, to transform our cities into sustainable gardens to help feed every man, woman and child in South Africa. And this is how they're doing it.
Imagine a world in which you could walk down the street and pick an apple or a peach or an avocado. In the heart of Cape Town, Greenpop's Misha Teasdale has a dream for all South Africans to make full use of what our beautiful land has to offer by turning our cities into sustainable gardens. This is their latest tree nursery in Woodstock, where trees are grown to plant across undergreen areas across Cape Town and where they grow an abundance of fruit and vegetables. It might not look like much, but this is what it looked like 2 years ago. Nothing but a collection of dust, rocks and rubbish. But their dreams go beyond just a garden. The team want to transform the space into an innovative green education hub. A hub accessible to everyone, where people can come together to learn, share and eat and have a boogie every once in a while, Greenpop style. The plan is to acquire a container which they can upcycle into a green workshop space, allowing them to host groups of school children and teachers from all the schools where they plant trees. The idea is to spread awareness about the importance of trees, of growing your own food and taking care of our environment. To make it happen, Greenpop have launched a crowdfunding campaign through Ripple to raise funds for the project, offering contributors the chance to have their name painted onto the container. All for one purpose, to start a Treevolution and help feed every man, woman and child in South Africa.
An incredible initiative, I'm sure you agree, but we have to meet the people behind it to truly understand what is motivating this green revolution. The team behind Greenpop are here. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Matthew Cohorst, Greenpop Head of Planting and Sustainability, very important in this kind of work, I would imagine, and Joe Jackson, who is the PR and social media coordinator. Guys, well done. Really cool initiative. It seems like one of those ideas that must be in your head for ages before you actually act on it. What was the motivation to take this desolate piece of earth and create something truly revolutionary and something so wholesome and authentic and awesome? Matthew, maybe you can...
Yeah, well, so actually it's interesting. It kind of grew quite spontaneously, sort of organically as things do. And yeah, we were looking for a place to hold our trees initially because we were planting in Cape Town. We've planted almost 50,000 trees in the last 4 years. And so brilliant. Some of those trees needed a nice home. And we linked up with Mountain Road Primary School on a piece of degraded land there. And then from there, it just started growing. We decided we wanted food for our office. So we started working on that. And then bit by bit, it's just kind of grown strength to strength. So.
And there's so much now coming out of this one brilliant idea. Just that first step now is starting to drive into the education zone. It's starting to create a connecting point for the community. Talk to me about what else is happening in this green zone now that you guys have created.
Yes, so 2 times a year now, we're having skill development workshops there. So we bring in people, our beneficiaries from our urban greening program to come in and develop their skills and learn how to look after their trees and how to incorporate that into also education for the kids in the schools.
Ultimately, we're creating a very different kind of culture around this. And it seems like one of those things where naturally we should all be doing something like this to green, but it's not happening. We're lucky to have in our cities, Joburg and Cape Town, a very green city, which is a gift. Are people catching on? Are people starting to understand that they can actually feed themselves?
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. I mean, every time we go out into communities in the Cape Flats and broader Cape Town area, we find people working on growing their own food. And I think it's the unsung heroes that we want to just be able to support at the end of the day. And we are a tree planting organization, but we do love all kinds of green action. So we want to give people the skills needed to grow healthy, good food close to home. That's the idea.
Where do your trees go? Because this is now a tree nursery of sorts. Where do the trees end up? Where can we see them and pat them and say, well done, tree?
So we plant our trees at schools, community centers, creches in the Cape Flats. And then we've got reforestation projects that we do as well, but that's kind of a separate story. But the Cape Town trees go out to undergreen communities. They apply for trees when they're interested, and we basically go and we do big plant days with corporate sponsors who come on board to support the project. And yeah, and then we've got a 2-year monitoring program after that. So it's a whole follow-up
brilliant,
thing,
man.
and this nursery is part of that process of giving support and guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know it just sounds like a great idea, but it does take a huge amount of logistical outlay and legwork to get something like this going and to keep the sponsorship coming in. So clearly, you guys are doing something right. Well done, man. The pictures speak volumes. But where can we find you? If we are a corporate, we want to support, have our own planting day, how do we get in touch with you guys?
Well, we've got a Ripple campaign at the moment. So Ripple is the social impact branch of Thunder Fund.
Yeah.
So if people want to help support us and our nursery, they can get involved and donate some money. We've got a lot of really cool rewards as part of that. So you can have your name or your company's name included into the design that we're going to put onto our new container, which we're going to try to upcycle into a workshop space. We've also got signed Jeremy Loop CDs, which you can get because he's actually one of the co-founders of Greenpop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and also Levi jeans. I mean, we've got a whole lot of cool things that you can check out on the website.
You made it cool. You've made greening cool, guys. No, I absolutely love it. And you can check out greenpop.org as well. Yeah. And we'll have all of those details on our website to boot. Guys, thank you so much. You're doing something very special. I know how difficult it is to get something like this going. So, more power to you, man. Keep it up. Well, it has turned into a very inspirational Mandela Monday indeed, eh?